Hello and welcome, friends, to another scene set in Odessa of the Dark Crusade Season 2. We set the scene deep within the Merchants District of La Sombra Domain, where one of their younger children has just had a meal. One of the merchant lodges located in this part of the city rather than the district of the guildhalls themselves. There is a clad in gold gentleman sitting at a large round table waiting for some new arrivals to grace his presence, or perhaps for him to grace theirs, as he has gone through the appropriate channels, either through knowing these people personally or simply having enough authority to sway the appropriate figures to have them invited to a little meeting, a planning session or practice session to discuss certain matters of business pertaining to the neonates and certain issues they may or may not have volunteered for at this point. They might just be being press ganged. In fact, this is definitely true for at least two of you. And as you go into the Sombra Domain, some of you get some weird eyes, apart from obviously Grin, who remains completely unnoticed the entire time. And you make your way over to this lodge where some humans, if you have a particularly sensitive nose, in fact, as a Cainite, you can kind of smell it naturally. You can almost inherently tell which ones are ghouls and which ones are not. You can kind of smell the vitae on their breath. At least one of them has been recently fed their supply. And you're allowed in and led into the main meeting hall, which is completely deserted, save for this armored man and three other guards, one of which looks quite old. But he seems to defer to all of you and allow you to take a seat. Irene, you get up rather late and arrive later than anyone else, unfortunately.
No, that's called duh. Fashionably late.
Of course. I will chastise you in another scene, don't worry. But yes. How do all of you enter? Do you enter together or separately?
Grin's already here.
Of course he is.
Garwin would be by himself because he doesn't know any of these individuals. He would just be aware that he was told to be here and there would be information that he needed to hear. So he would come in relatively calmly. Seeing the older man guarding the door, he would nod his head, and once he feels like he's got a signal to enter the place, he would enter, then wait in an open area. Wait in the open area with his back to a wall and see who else arrives. He's not one for being late, mainly actually being early.
That Annabelle will also arrive and wait in the entrance hall as well.
both of you are witness to this man just looking at you. Annabelle, you've heard of him in the past. He's friends of your sire. Or on good terms. Might be a bit strong of a word to call him a friend. Take a seat.
Thank you. And Annabelle will take a seat.
Garland, seeing this new woman arrival, kind of glanced at her, but then focused back into just looking across the room, not really focusing on anything.
Annabelle will look at the, in golden armor, and she'll say, "It's good to see that you're in good health." She's talking to the Baron.
Oh yeah, no, he looks at you. And you. I don't believe we've met. I'm Baron Ulrich. Former Prince of the City, now Hound. General of the Dream.
Pleasure to meet you. Sire. Me a lot about you.
I hope most of it good. And you, Clan Bruges, yes? He looks at Garland.
He focuses on Orc. I guess messages were sent by to tell you who I am, at least where I came from.
I work for the sheriff. I know very much who you are.
Yes. Yes. I am Clan Bruges. I am Garland Cervantes.
Spanish?
Yes.
And I suppose you'll be very familiar with my clan and our methods.
I have met an elder of your clan recently, but I haven't spoke to much Lasombra in my time amongst our kind. Though I am glad that you're willing to speak with us this day, and if you have time, or possibly this conversation pertains to a particular subject I wish to speak to you about.
You can be at ease. You're an honored member of our triumvirate.
I'm merely a servant. I don't wish to go past my bounds.
Well, another one of our clans should be arriving shortly.
They're late.
Yes, they are. He looks unsatisfied.
Maybe or maybe that person was hungry.
That doesn't excuse tardiness.
As expected from Lasombra, excellence should be expected.
Very much
As
so.
you mentioned the word excellence, of course. It's when Irene will kind of rush in, looks at the gathering, walks over to Ulrich and will curtsy very deeply, kind of making a twist with her hips so her skirts kind of spread out over the floor in a half circle. My Lord Ulrich, I apologize deeply.
Ulrich kind of gives you that restrained but pissed off Mace Windu expression from episode 3 after Anakin just went on a tirade about not being a good master. And he's just like, take a seat.
Yes, my lord. She'll kind of smile. She won't offer any kind of explanation or excuses because there are no excuses to being late. So she'll just she'll sit down, kind of cross her legs, not the modern style, but the lady style. So you basically cross more like your ankles, and places her hands in her lap, and just looks at the other two, but knows better as to engage in like social chit chat right now, as her eyes focus back on Ulrich.
And about this time, just seemingly from under a table in one of the corners, a small little black rat just kind of starts. It's kind of a fat rat, actually, at this point. Kind of meanders over and crawls up the leg of one of the chairs. And kind of perches its fat little butt in the chair, and just sits there and just kind of starts sniffing, looking back and forth.
Garland will look around. Is that somebody's familiar, or should I get rid of it?
Ulrich just looks down at the spontaneously appearing Nosferatu who appeared from out of a table.
No, it was a rat.
The rat.
There's a rat sitting. There's literally a fat rat sitting in a chair, like a person.
Does that rat? I really hate to ask this,
yes,
but does that rat look familiar?
You've seen him dancing in front of a certain Nosferatu.
Yeah,
before.
I figured.
Wait a second. So, is this a human-sized rat?
No. It's just like a
ordinary rat.
It's just a fat, ordinary rat, like we'll say, 6 inches long.
It's just oddly, Cisco's oddly aware. That's why
it's sitting like
somebody's familiar, or is it just a really aggressive rodent? Because if it's just an aggressive rodent, Garland would try to get rid of it. But if somebody's familiar, he'd leave it alone. So.
Irene will look at Ulrich as like, my lord, I count 2 other canites besides us, but this rat I am familiar with. Did you invite someone else?
The neonate known as a Grin from Clan Nosferatu.
She'll give like a small smile and nods. I think this means that he is here too.
Oh, then why not show him some?
For someone who, well, I have not seen at Elysium. Is it your task to question others, especially when there is an elder present in our midst? And she means not elder by as in the rank of elder, of course, but yeah.
Older canine, yeah.
Yeah.
If a person of Ulrich's stature, as far as I've heard, has asked to be here, I think it'd be polite for us to all show up in person. Now, if for some reason Grin could not be here and he sent a familiar instead, it'd be polite if the familiar stated such in some type of fashion.
You are very
Likely is here. An animal cannot contain the complex details of what we're about to discuss. It would give him simple impressions. He cannot contribute if he does not show himself. So he can
And-
do that.
And as you
Oh.
hear, as Zilric says that, the table where the rat appeared, the table on the exact opposite side of the room will kind of move slightly, and the hunched figure of Grin will just kind of slide out from behind the shadow. He'll straighten up.
Or just kind of gives a knowing nod, as if this is not unusual for him. Which is about as humorous as it is sad.
Grin will make his way around the table to where the rat is, and he'll actually perch almost bird-like in the chair with his feet in it, as if he's not used to sitting in a chair. And the rat will kind of disappear into his rags.
Yeah, Grin, particularly considering your outlook, this entire place makes you feel uneasy. It's very strange.
Yeah,
it's more kind of disdainful than anything else. Like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah, he doesn't like this place at all. You can tell he does not like it. He is constantly, his head's moving back and forth. His eyes are moving back and forth. He's constantly looking for ways out. And it's very obvious. He's not hiding it. He is looking for exits. He's looking for ways to get out of here as quickly as possible.
there's one door out of this room, which does not help. It's quite literally a cage with a door out, from your perspective.
Right. I will just give him a
Pass my
smile.
willpower. I didn't run.
I believe we can get down to business now. We've all been called here either because you have either volunteered or are being volunteered to aid in the assistance of this issue that is growing in prominence, the domain breaches, which I'm sure you're all aware of at this point.
I was not aware of such things. I've only arrived here recently.
Annabelle nods. For me, it's the same. I've only down.
Well then. You're about to learn of this issue then. Annabelle, did you roll for your nightmares?
No, I didn't.
You need to do that.
Coming up.
This 7.
You just keep hoping for the botch.
We've disappointed him twice. We haven't botched yet. So he's hoping for you.
Third time's the charm.
You say
I'm waiting for
this.
you. Oh wait, are you even in? You're not actually in the freaking... God damn it. I'll just roll for you. Shame her.
Well, it's an easy way to pass the rolls if you're just not in a Discord.
Yeah. If I can't roll, I just pass immediately.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Or botch automatically.
Why
Oh,
do
no.
all of you have above 5 willpower?
Saskia. Shh.
Don't give
Right.
my ideas.
Oh, it's whatever
Behold.
gives the ST the most humorous results, of course.
Damn it. She just passes with a
Ooh, that
single
was close.
success. That was very close. Yeah, you have a decent...
Put me in.
We're able to shrug off the bad dreams. Tangent aside. And she says, well, then you're about to learn. Over the past month, different domains have been being attacked. The most recent one to be hit was this one. It used to be just out in the wilds. Around the fort, just outside the city, in the local farmlands. But now whoever's been doing this, or group, has been moving in. They've attacked first the Southall slums, then moved on to Baldwin's Gift. I've since pushed into the Merchants District. There's only one person here with Allspace. Hello.
Oh, sorry, what was the question?
I was just checking here who had Allspace. It's fine.
No.
I have.
Yeah, no, you're literally the only person. There has recently been, from but 2 nights ago, a further breach. Now into the rack. He was found on one of the rooftops on the border of the bazaar. Brutally mauled. Their throat torn out. Their body was found during the afternoon of the next day. The cause of death falls in line with all of the other breaches which we've seen, which often involves a completely destroyed body. Whoever is doing this is quite clearly on the path to a cell, if not already there. But considering that they seem to be moving into the city and not moving out, they will probably not fall into the beast yet.
So, do you wish this individual captured alive or dead?
Captured, if possible. We cannot say for certain yet if multiple people are behind these acts or if there is a larger organization at work. And we would like to know if that is the case.
Grin kind of says under his breath as he's scratching at an armpit, or multiple ones.
Lord Ulrich, if I may ask a question, which is probably pretty far-fetched. I have also heard of several other things creeping from outside of the city into it, like some sort of sickness that used to be outside and is now finding its way into our city. Could it possibly be related? Or are they mere coincidences?
He looks at you with a curious gaze. Do tell, you seem like you have a story to share.
It's
He
just
literally
something
puts
that
you
I've heard, my lord. I have no further information, just that there seemed to be a disease spreading through the country, and it seemed to get into the city now. That's literally all the information that I have right now.
There seems to be many omens looming around Odessa.
It would not be the first time. But no, I don't believe these to be connected. The
I
notion
said
of a
it was a bit
disease, unless it
far-fetched.
is able to affect us, which is unlikely.
Then should we put issues on a priority list?
This is your priority. This is why you're here.
What about the Negra?
The
The Black Mary.
real self-control now.
Yeah, I'll have to probably. Yeah, no.
What's his self-control rating?
Oh boy.
Okay. What
Out of
is
character,
the-
real quick, how public is the knowledge of Black Mary? Not that she's here,
It
but
was mentioned at
It was
Elysium.
announced at Elysium.
no, I mean like her existence. Like what is known of her existence in general, kindred or canine society.
She's bad. That's about
Okay.
it. It's literally, she's bad, and that she's basically an outlaw of the dream. That's pretty much it. She's done bad things to the dream, but you don't really know what. Other than that, she appears to be just your standard everyday
Okay. I have to ask this.
blood
I have
hunting
to do this.
Canaanite.
Yeah, I have to do this before I go. Real quick. Grin's gonna lean in and go, "What does she look like?"
Oh shit. Okay.
And that's when we lost all the characters here.
Never mind. I didn't see
It's
it.
not. It's not a frenzy check. Don't worry. It wasn't. It's not actually a frenzy check. I'm sorry. What did JC say?
He asked, "What does she look like?" Blackberry.
Man, everyone's breaking etiquette today.
He has no etiquette. Come on.
Guard's not aware that this is a secret because the sheriff told him about it, and he even told him to find Ulrich to talk about it, and he talked about it to Lady Madeline.
No, Irene will not interrupt since Ulrich is present. But she is keeping a very close eye on both Ulrich and this new guy who thinks he can instantly solve every problem in the city.
I'm a Bruja. I'm a go-getter. That's what we do.
You'll be going to be gets probably, yeah. I think as soon as Chris jumps back in, because I believe he's frozen.
This is the Bruja right now.
And Ulrich is just
I
sitting
got
there
this.
frozen in his
Um,
chair.
I am so frozen right now. Okay, so where did we get to?
You failed your
by the
roll.
vacancy.
Yeah, you
I
did.
failed my roll. Okay, so what happens is she is named, the hand comes up, slams on the table. It literally works like a seesaw. Irene, you're the latest person here. Gufran, you're able to just make your way in, so you're with her. The table literally almost flips completely up then back down, and there is just broken splinters on the other side of the table.
Sorry, what happened to me? Why was I mentioned?
You're on the opposite side of the table to Ulrich. So what happens is that he slams his hand down on the table. It literally almost flips completely up.
Yeah. I'm gonna make I think that would either be self-control or subterfuge to
If you
stay
wanna,
calm.
if you wanna look calm,
Yeah.
yeah, roll me manipulation subterfuge, or just roll straight courage to actually just be calm.
I will roll both. First courage, and if I don't need the subterfuge, I will not roll the subterfuge. Let me first try courage to be like. I mean, she did kind of see this coming when he mentioned Mary. Like her eyes snapped immediately back to Ulrich.
Gufron, who just enters the room, and sees this happen in front of him, stops before he even closes the door, looks at the entire thing. Looks like he wants to say something, but keeps his mouth shut.
And I failed my courage, but I made my subterfuge to hide that I failed my courage with 4 successes.
That's fine. I won't roll because he doesn't care.
And Annabelle would just make a little squeal of surprise.
She does not.
Carla just looks really confused right now, and he looks at Ulrich, like, and he just kind of is like, "Sir, are you okay?"
There is a pause after you say that. You will now remain silent for the rest of this meeting until I tell you to speak. Can you understand that much?
Guard listened at attention without saying a word. Just,
Good. I was going to put out a map for you to plan on. How unfortunate. Gufron. Apologies.
No, my apologies for arriving so late and intruding upon what seems to be a moment.
One unfortunately needlessly caused. Alas, you can take a seat. Your half of the table is still functional.
Thank you. And he turns to the rest of the room. Out of character, have I met Ulrich? I don't think so.
You haven't met anyone here.
Not me.
You know who
No.
Ulrich is.
Fair.
You've heard of him.
Fair. So he will turn to the rest of the room and place his right hand over the left side of his chest, bow ever so slightly, and say, "I am Gufran Wasem of the followers of Set. A pleasure to make your acquaintance." With that, he'll
Annabelle,
stand up straight again and will take his seat at the table.
Annabelle will give him a slight nod of her head as acknowledgement.
Right. Back to the matter at hand. He takes out a map. It barely fits on the now. His half of the table is still standing, but it's horribly splintered. He just puts it down. From what we can tell, the creature appears to be heading from the south side of the city to the north. It appears to be entrenching itself larger into more and more populated domains. Now, I'm merely here to supervise. This mission is your own. So you are free to plan as you will, so long as you do not shatter any of the other traditions in the process. The sheriff and his hounds would handle this situation themselves, but we thought this is a good opportunity for the newcomers in the city to prove their worth. And unfortunately, we find ourselves very busy as of late. But perhaps for those of you who do well, you may find yourselves as busy as us. And he will like set up the map for you, stating where the areas have been hit, where everything is. There are some cute little pins that he puts down. It is these. Most of the domains have been hit. The only one that hasn't has been the catacombs. But there has been no reports of this happening in the Palace, Justinopolis Mount, or the Nobles' Quarter. The current area that was last attacked was Hyde's Bazaar. So the northwest side. So they're heading up to the Nobles' Quarter, or Old Town. At least that's what you can gather from basic movement pattern.
And the merchant district has been hit?
Yes. 1 second. I just need to check. Yes, the merchant district was hit.
So it's Hyde's Bazaar, Central Market, Merchant District, Riverside, and Justinopla Mount. Those have all been hit, but Old Town Palace and Nobles Quarter not.
Nobles Quarter, the Palace, and Justinopolis Mount have not been hit.
Okay.
The Justinopolis is misspelled.
And
the merchants district they were chased out of, though, or rather by there was a scream, and there was, because their area is under pretty heavy city guard. It's literally right next to the palace and its Los Umbra domain. They didn't get a good look at whatever did the attack, but it got out of there pretty quickly. It hasn't attacked back there since then. Other places have had numerous attacks, but the catacombs and the catacombs haven't been attacked, and the merchants districts have only been attacked once.
My lord, what was the first place where they attacked? Or where there was an attack? Inside the city, of course.
Inside the city, the Southwall slums.
And the last one was the bazaar. Is there any evidence that we could view? My lord?
There is limited amount of information we currently have. However, around the time these attacks started occurring in the Southwall slums, there were rumors of this is difficult to say. some sort of what did Misi call them? The closest equivalent would be some sort of and OC, excuse me as I butcher this pronunciation, Chipotarian? Very large bat. Some sort of horrible, large winged creature.
And another question. The first attack happened in the slums, and the last one in the bazaar. As these attacks happened, did they go back to places? Like you said, there have been multiple attacks in the slums. But did it stop after it moved to a different district, or did they occur at the same time?
And where did they go after the attack?
That is a good question. We've yet to locate its haven. After it started attacking the city, we were made aware that the Gangrel and Mrs. Misi had been suffering domain breaches of this sort for several weeks.
And they
However,
my apologies, my lord.
we have been made aware that attacks within the Southall slums and the Christian quarter has gotten more prominent. There's only been one instance of these crimes appearing within Abraham's Fountain, largely because such a place is rarely suitable for our kind. All the bodies were exsanguinated. Well, not quite. There was blood on the walls and on the ground, but not much of it left.
Understandable. I must ask, however, did the clans Gangrel and Zemisi keep the news about these attacks quiet before they were discovered? Or did they look into it themselves first?
I believe they looked into it themselves. Part of the problem with the Gangrel's domain is that it's rather vast, so it can be difficult to keep track of who goes and who enters and who leaves. But Tismisi's domain, well, they have a surrounding hamlet, but the meat of it is a fort.
I was about to say, I believe that the Zemisi, out of all the clans, would keep a very close watch on their domain.
That is what I've heard as well.
It might be best to inquire for the safety of the domain ask for a small bit of Clan Zemisi's assistance, or at least any information they might have acquired.
One of
That has already been arranged.
Oh, I was not aware. My apologies.
No,
yes.
Sorry, I have taken the liberty of informing a acquaintance of mine who is of said clan, and he is talking to his clan at the moment.
Very well.
Attacks within Tismisi domain were few and far between. They stopped, similar to the Gangrels when these crimes started entering the city.
And you were saying, Lord Ulrich, or maybe I'm just getting this wrong, that they are working their way up to the nobles' quarter? And
They appear to be
palace?
heading north.
Did that mean they stopped south? Are they spreading or are they moving, my lord?
They would appear to be moving, although attacks have been somewhat scattered. It's more of a general trend than a hard rule. Southall slums have been attacked numerous times, as have the Tristian Quarter. The Bazaar,
How
of
many
course.
times? Oh, my apologies once more, my lord.
This is the first time Hart's Bazaar has been attacked, only within the past couple of days.
Well, I was going to inquire to the number of attacks per night. Is this a random number? Is it one? Does it keep going up?
It appears to be only 1 or 2 per attack.
Per night.
Considering how much blood this creature is no doubt ingesting, it does not have to make too many attacks too often, at least per night.
You said, that, my lord, that the last attack was several days ago. Is there a pattern, a frequency? I think that is what you refer to. She looks at the setite.
If
I
we
would
were,
like to see a pattern, but if the beast is in Wasay, then it is highly unlikely. I'm just trying to confirm your suspicion whether or not this is spreading or if it's just one number.
I also believe that the lack of a pattern might indicate someone who is untrained and not aware of any wrongdoings per se, where I feel the more pattern we can find, the more evidence we would have that this is indeed targeted in a way.
I will say this. The east side of the city have suffered attacks, but they've been few in number, and attacks on the west side are increasing. In fact, if we're to link it back in regards to frequency, the areas most hard struck are the Christian Quarter and the Southall slums.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there was the wilds for a time, but the attacks have stopped there.
It is interesting that it is around Abram's Fountain, but as you said, not there.
Why still, this creature appears to be well traveled. There was an instance where there was a body found on the Christian Quarter and then on the rooftop of one of the western farmlands in one of the, well, on top of one of the local farmhouses. And all of the bodies are left on the roofs.
And you were mentioning a bat-like creature before. My lord,
There's a room within the Southall slums, but that has been the community within the Southall slums are quite superstitious in general. This is not the first time we've had these rumors. There have also been rumors of more hideous ground-based creatures, more reminiscent of the local Nosferatu and wild men. But
my
this
lord,
is... Yes?
my sire told me that she had witnessed something rather gruesome in the slums but a few days ago. I am not sure if you've heard of it. It might have been one of these attacks.
Do tell.
She was there for business and ran into, as far as I know, because she didn't go into many details, but ran into a mess, torn up body.
How badly torn up? How much blood was there?
She described it as horrific.
Auric looks a little bit flat-faced at this. I see. It's possible.
I figured.
Attacks are commonplace now.
I figured that the information would have been known already. This is why I did not question too much. If I'd known that it wasn't, I would have asked further.
We're looking largely at the attacks that are taking place, the more specific out-of-place ones. We know all of the... We know now that the crimes where all the bodies were left on rooftops are due to this creature because of when the Merchants District was attacked. The body was found on the rooftop and the assailant was fleeing, but they didn't get a good look at it. It had jumped off the building.
Annabelle will kind of raise her hand. As in, can I speak?
Auric kind of gestures towards you.
You mentioned that there was an attack in Riverside as well? Oh, okay. Never mind then. She will continue. Until now, every attack has been below where the river runs through the city. Maybe that has some significance to the creature.
Pardon?
Up till now, every attack was underneath the line where the river runs through the city. That is what she said.
True. This creature seems to be possessed of some agility. Would not surprise me if it possessed the gift of speed, because some of these attacks appear very far-flung. One day we'll have a killing in the Southall slums, the other day will be taking place on the furthest stretches of the wilds, then back to the slums again, and then to the Christian Quarter, and then it will remain in the Christian Quarter for another night before flinging back towards Riverside. The city is fairly large. It would take some skill and speed to make it through the city without being noticed like this. Especially when one takes into account the size of the countryside surrounding us and how many attacks used to occur there.
Did those attacks all stopped when it entered the city? My lord.
Yes. They stopped about 2.5 weeks ago. There were a few attacks after when it began.
I think he crashed.
I think so too.
Maybe.
Damnation Hangouts!
How are you? Stop flailing.
My new webcam is working just fine.
Yeah, I can see that.
Welcome, girl.
It's my disapproving face.
We can see the face! And the
my
face
friend-
is gone!
Yeah. The greatest frequency of attacks appears to be within the Southall slums and the Christian Quarter, with it either running through or around Abraham's Fountain.
Yeah. My lord, when you said that there were a couple of attacks outside of the city, but only a few, were they close to the city? It might be helpful to know his range somewhat. Maybe if we find this out, we can try to locate where he goes from.
Hmm.
If we create the distances between the attacks in the way that they have been occurring, we might be able to know how fast he can be, and from there on can determine a little bit more about where
He
he
will
might
begin drawing that up for you.
possibly have his haven located, because that would be the place where most lines would intercede, if I am correct. She'll kind of look to I don't think I can pronounce your name, the name of your character, Max, but she'll look at the Sethites.
Gufran.
I sell carpets.
He sells carpets.
Flying ones?
Wonderful, lovely carpets.
Lord Gufran, don't you agree with me?
Yes. I'm sorry. I didn't follow.
Wow.
I just
Auric is drawing, so they're drawing up like they're trying to identify this creature's range, quote unquote, by analyzing the attacks and how many are occurring where and at what time. So you have like pre-entering city and then post-entering city. What do you say? Like pins, like, you know, it's being labeled down where they are.
Okay.
Something interesting to note when these attacks are being labeled is the Southall slums appear to be quite scattered. In the Christian Quarter, these attacks are occurring very deep, like, you know, not on the borders of Christian Quarter. You should be aware this is Tremere Domain. They don't let you very far into the domain. You basically get the surrounding neighborhood and that's it. You get to exist on the line. This creature appears to be going very deep into it, and it's like kind of almost like a cluster. The Southall slums are scattered, although they also begin to form a less cohesive cluster. Kind of in the southwestern corner. The pre-city breaches are just, there is no cluster. It's just everywhere.
Yeah.
Oh god, it's everywhere.
And like that's where the attacks actually took place. So if you would draw lines from the different attacks, like in order of where they have occurred, like day 1 it was X, and then day 2, and if you would draw lines from there on, would there be a place where a lot of those lines would intercede?
Yes, you also understand that this creature appears to have a very, very large radius of travel. One of its attacks took it from the Southall slums. 1 second, just let me get the proper map out because it's reversed on my screen. All the way from the Arab slums to the wilds. So literally wider than the city's actual length. It's
like the idea Irene has is that if we basically get the furthest out attacks right now, and we get the other ones, there's always some sort of a center. If you would take that center, then you could basically make a radius. So you would know its range, but you would also know the middle of said range, and that might be the point where he goes from. It is a bit of a wild guess, though.
It's rather difficult to pin. It's kind of a point of home. The closest you get is actually rather far by kind of checking the midpoints on these lines. You see that kind of, it's hardly triangulation, it's more like tracing back these lines. You can see a lot, there's a lot of the attacks take place within a couple of neighborhoods in the Southall slums. Like more than there are a lot of attacks in the Southall slums. but there are more of them on the southwest side in about a couple of neighborhoods. The Christian Quarter just has several attacks, still much less than Southall Slums, literally within one neighborhood. Also an area you would know is forbidden to you not under normal circumstances.
Yeah. Oh, hell.
You're just not, they just don't allow you anywhere near that neighborhood or the surrounding neighborhoods or the
Goddamn Tremere.
Yeah, like, you know, it's a case of you get to exist just a tiny bit in the line, and that's basically it. The almost the entire domain is almost on lockdown perpetually, which also raises the question as to how they're able to get past the Tremere.
Well, there is a simple answer for that, but that might not be the wisest answer, nor the true answer. But since Nosferatu domain has not been touched, it would make sense if that would be the way for him to travel.
Definitely possible. It doesn't necessarily explain its ability to survive in the wilds, though. I mean, well, I suppose the Nosferatu are talented survivors.
I am not indicating.
Sorry.
I apologize, my lord, please. I
He
just
points
merely
at
wanted to
Garland.
state that the Nosferatu, I would not dare to accuse a Nosferatu of anything just because their domain has not been breached. Merely saying that it could use it as a way to travel.
Possibly. He points at Garland, sorry.
Let us also not forget that even if the perpetrator is of any clan, as long as he or she is not from the city, doesn't have any loyalty to it. From what I'm hearing of the rumors, or what we have so far, we have wings, we have a large mobility.
Potentially wings. These rumors have been around before these started. This is just that's just something I note. There are rumors of more ground-based creatures that would perhaps resemble the more alien forms such as Mysiol and Nosferatu.
Well, I was thinking, if it has great survivability outside of the wild, it might possess the discipline of Protean.
Potentially, it could explain the wings. It could be taking the form of a large bird, or it could be taking the form of a more. It could be taking the form of a large animal, which would be cause of superstitious rumors of such ground-based monsters. Unless anyone expects anything like a bear in their neighborhood. True, yes.
Garland will kind of square himself with Ulrich on waiting to, and responds. You tell me that the Christian quarters belong to the Tremere, and the Tremere keep it extremely private, correct? And this creature
Yes.
invading it.
They reported these breaches as soon as possible.
Did these attacks originate from this area? Or it's just simply they reported it? Because I'm just curious, if the Tremere, with their skills, are able to do wondrous things, the fact that these creatures have invaded them, regardless of the point, regardless of how it does it, and they couldn't track it, it just makes me wonder.
My lord, a lot of clans can do wondrous things. Not just the Tremere.
I would suggest first perhaps checking the Southall slums rather than the Christian Quarter.
Yes. My lord, I would agree with you also because a lot of attacks happen there, and just because the creature has a wide range, for a quick snack, you would stay close to home. Also, with that many attacks, there might be more clues than us just heading into a place where there have been fewer.
And the victims of these attacks, mainly mortals, I'm assuming.
All of them are mortal. There have been no canites attacked.
And is there any, let's say, matching distinguishes between the mortals, or are these simply just random mortals being fed upon?
They're being killed.
Yes, but are these mortals all male, female, certain heights? Just another way to distinguish possibly another victim.
Most of the corpses are unrecognizable. There appears to be no real priority this canite keeps. If nothing else, that does guarantee it's not a Ventru.
And it's moving and looking at the map and taking into consideration that the area is so wide, and we did already distinguish that one of them seems to be able to fly, correct? Or at least has wings.
We don't know.
Yeah.
Those are rumors. Rumors have just intensified within the slums over the past month, which is when these breaches started. So we have rumors of ground-based monsters, horrors, massive jawed creatures with a vaguely human shape, but obviously deformed. A lot of them are just cast off as superstition. Some of them some of them have literally been identified as genuine lepers. But
Lord Ulrich,
this is folklore. This is not reality.
It is wise to listen to rumors, but to accept them as facts is foolish.
It's one of the reasons we're able to locate where some of these attacks were happening.
Lord Ulrich, are there tunnels beneath Odessa?
He kind of looks at you as if to say, there are Nosferatu in the city. What do you think? It's kind of that silent kind of just...
It's more in
expression.
the line, as he sees the look, it's like, I mean, in the sense as if these creatures are moving around on sound, yes, we have tunnels that we have the catacombs, as far as I know, of the city. But unless these creatures are somehow truly are able to fly, moving unseen that widely and that quickly, I'm assuming they may be taking specific unused routes, possibly.
We can't identify if they're using the catacombs or the sewer system or not. If they were, it is almost certain that the Nosferatu would have turned them in. They keep an iron grip on their domain.
But
even more so than the Tremere. No one is allowed within the warrant without the explicit permission of the Primogen.
then our foe is quite clever then.
No, it's spontaneous. These attacks are far-flung and scattered. They've only recently become organized.
My Lord Ulrich, would that suggest that this may have been one individual who has been harnessed by someone or something?
Possible. If the attacks have become organized, either this creature has gained a semblance of awareness or is being used for someone else's agenda.
Yes. And they have become organized 2.5 weeks ago, you say?
But yes, when it began entering the city.
And without wanting to bring this subject up again, I feel I must ask, when did you arrive in the city, my lord?
He thinks for a moment. About a fortnight ago. Just under, I believe. Yes.
And what would be the odds that the individual that you are hunting down might have harnessed said creature? Might have brought her into her fold. As I feel that the fact that these attacks have become organized is very coincidental with the arrival of your prey in the city.
I know not the precise time of when my own quarry entered this city. She would have only arrived a few days before myself, at most.
You spoke of wings. The rumors speak of wings.
Let us
My lord,
not get ground down in rumors,
no,
because a lot of them are contradicting each other.
I would prefer not, but my lord, would you have a moment to speak in private? If your guest would give us that courtesy, of course.
I will allow it, but if the information is pertinent to us, I expect you to share it with the rest of
Of course.
the group.
But I would prefer you to be the judge of that.
He'll walk you out to a different room. Room is empty.
My lord, a while ago we met at, well, actually not too long ago, we met at Sister Madeline's. I do not know if you've heard of the reason why I was there.
I'm aware.
I have had a dream, vision maybe. It sounds probably like I might have been mad, but I can assure you that I have not lost my wits. But this dream also mentioned wings. Wings worn by a scarred yet unblemished girl with black veins covering her body.
Oh, see, the wings were butterfly wings.
Yeah, that's not what I didn't know that.
You know you do? I forgot to tell you that, I'm sorry. Well, I thought you knew that.
No,
You didn't bring it up, I was like, wait a second.
it's not. It's not in my little description.
Well, there you go.
Okay.
But wings.
They were not bat wings, more like those of a butterfly, but Just the fact that wings were mentioned in combination with this creature, I felt like it may have indicated something. This is why I asked the questions I just asked. I would prefer not to mention this to the others unless it is a necessity for them to know. This is why I would prefer you be the judge of that. If you think it holds no significance in this investigation, I would prefer to keep these dreams to myself, as they can be explained in a not very redeeming way.
I don't think it's relevant to this one, although it might hold relevance to another. But we're dealing with the notion of prophecy now, which is not traditionally our domain as Cainites to unravel.
No, my lord. In that case, I apologize for wasting your time.
If we could discuss this later, I'd appreciate it.
Yes, my lord.
You need not discuss this with the rest of the group.
Thank you, my lord.
So as that discussion's going on back in a room, Gufran's just gonna lean on his elbow and look at what's her face, Annabelle, and say, "So, what do you do these nights?"
Oh my!
How you doing?
How you doing?
Hey, I just met you, and this is crazy. But can I have the number of your?
Can I have your messenger? Can I have your messenger bird? What?
Sorry.
Shyla gets 4 successes on a perception roll, by the way. You pick up the vast majority of that conversation, about 80% of it. You do miss a couple of key details. You basically miss the end of the conversation. So they're talking about a dream Irene had, but you're not sure kind of what that dream is. You're aware of the contents of the dream and the relevance she's talking about that it has, but you're not aware of what Auric said towards the end of that conversation. And you're not aware of the notion of it being prophetic. But Shadow's just like, fuck you anyway.
Yeah, right.
She's like, I didn't get my 5 successes.
Stop throwing your childish tantrums.
Look at her. Look at that face. Just so like
That
full
baby
of
face.
hate and hurt. Just wants to maul everything around it. I can see the fire in its eyes. Dreaming of a blood. And the organs. So many organs. Alright, you got 4 successes. You don't hear the end of the conversation or Auric said in response to what Irene said. You heard most of what Irene said. You heard that she had a dream that involved a scarred and unblemished woman with wings, and that she might have felt that had relevance to the investigation. Auric said that he doesn't think it does, but then you kind of tune out as Gufran starts interrupting your listening session.
Dick.
Hey, girl. Hey. Little snake tongue going around the lips. Nah, just kidding.
It should be noted, Gufran is fucking loud because you have heightened senses on. Like, your ears hurt now.
Annabelle just pastes a pleasant smile on her face as she looks at them, well, side-eyed.
You
I have no
seem
idea
to
what-
be
oh,
in
it's-
some very deep concentration. everything all right?
Yes, I'm just winding down from the earlier tension.
Hmm. That's what you want to call it.
Every time he talks, every time you talk, your head just pounds a little bit. Just it's so loud. In addition to all the noise you're now hearing outside, you're hearing Ulrich and Irene talking. It's kind of hard to keep track of what he's saying.
Oh, can I make a perception empathy?
Yeah.
I'm gonna be a complete asshole.
And Annabelle, you may roll manipulation subterfuge to hide the kind of discomfort you're feeling from your heightened hearing right now. Because your hearing is intense.
Can't I just shut off my goddamn hearing?
You can shut it off now. It's still you still got a bit of a headache just from all the noise.
Yeah.
Because it was extremely loud. It's like having a trumpet just being blown in your ear.
Why does it not? Oh, I need to add a space.
Oh yeah, I need to know because I need. Have you added yourself to the dice roller, Shiloh?
No.
Do I need to do that? Okay,
Add
I'll do
yourself to the dice Charlie, you lazy ass.
that. Yeah, like the link is literally in the chat.
Oh, wait.
It doesn't work. I tried it earlier. I had to get it.
Gosh
But again, I literally clicked "Don't expire" on it, and it just keeps expiring. Yes.
So I got it
Alright.
through, I think, Peter. Not Peter, but somebody else.
Alright, press this link. It should work. Do it.
Yeah.
Le press. And what was the manipulation subterfuge? Just 5 dice from Semwa.
I only have one success, so you'll probably get it.
I better get it. Annoying satite. This is not how you make friends.
Ma'am, you are a salubri. What do you expect me to do?
You're the one eavesdropping on a private conversation.
Yeah.
You're the one
So
freaking
rude.
rules etiquette here.
Freaking salubri hypocrite. See, this is why they all die.
I know, right?
You and soul suckers are at it again. It's like,
This is just why the somber reigns supreme.
Okay, make your roll, Shiloh Churchy-chan.
Shia LaBeouf. What is it again? Slash R.
are you in the fucking server? Yeah, you're in the server. Finally.
In which one are we? 1, 2, 3, 4.
1.
We're in one.
That's a dice roller.
Yeah.
Number 1.
Difficulty is 6, I assume. 8
Arr.
points away. 2 successes, bitch.
Aha! Congrats. All right. So he
Yeah,
fails to reach body language,
Well,
but just like a little bitch, he's going to tap his fingers on the table.
You turn off your heightened senses.
I still have a pounding headache, but at least it's not as if someone is banging a drum next to my face.
You turn off your hidden senses as he taps the table. So, yeah, that's a really fucking irritating sound. Why did he do that? That is, God, this asshole.
Yeah, she
It's like,
is smiling at him, kind of gritting her teeth. I see I'm not the only one who got a bit unsettled by the previous
Subterfuge.
Roll self-control difficulty 5. You're being provoked.
What?
Frenzy!
This is gonna be fun. This is gonna be hilarious.
This is so painful to your head right now. This is just
Wait.
your head is pounding because of all the noise.
This is gonna be great. This is gonna be great.
And
I'm going to...
you know he's doing this on purpose. He has a shit-eating grin as he does this. This asshole, you know.
Difficulty what? Difficulty
5. Don't worry.
5.
Difficulty 5. It's not. It's not. It's just
Not
you're just
too
being
bad.
casual.
You can make that.
Yes. That's a
Don't.
Well,
just
I'm going.
watch her botch. This is gonna be great.
No,
If she botches,
Can
I
I
actually
still-
know what's going to
can I-
happen.
can I spend a willpower point?
Well, you may. It's a standard roll. You can spend willpower.
Okay,
You're
good.
now on will.
Then I'm going to spend a willpower anyway. And then 3 dice it is.
Diff 5 roll.
Nothing better than a
Oh, well.
frenzy.
Wait,
You get 2 successes, so you're fine. You kind of you see him tap it in your head, go pounding. You see him just give you this kind of devious smile. You kind of feel that beast inside you just kind of wants to just kind of tear that smile off of him, but you keep it down. You're a veteran at this.
Would that be like a snake-like grin? You know?
Yes,
Lololololo.
quite literally snake-like grin.
See this childish action through Garland across the room. He just kind of moves his hand past his cloak, and he has a coin. And you've seen the magician's kind of coin flip through his fingers. He's just kind of going that back and forth and back and forth. And he looks at specifically, if I'm reading this correctly, it's Gafron, right? And he says, looks like someone is bored.
Wow, I need to do something to entertain myself. Or everyone else in this room, for that matter. Because it is so very selfish to keep one's guilty pleasures to oneself.
Privacy has
Side-eye, Annabelle.
Privacy has its place, but let's be polite and just be proper guests. Again, he's flipping the coin through his fingers.
I absolutely agree. Let us keep the rules of etiquette in utmost standard and do everything we can to uphold them. Should we not?
Annabelle just smiles. Well, it's a good thing that we're all civil in here, isn't it?
I do. I'm so glad we understand each other. You should come by my shop later.
I swear, go
I
from
sell some wonderful carpets. You make great decoration.
Annabelle, your forehead kind of is bristles a little bit. It's just a little bit irritable.
Is there perhaps a fainting couch somewhere in the room where I can lay down on?
No, you have to sit up for this.
Engaged.
The tapping, by the way, on the table has not stopped. It's just
Oh,
continued.
I'm sure it hasn't.
Yeah, that's become kind of annoying because it won't stop. But it's not a pain in your head. You know, that headache is past. It was largely due to the noise and you're undead.
She will give a pointed glare to Gufran tapping his fingers, and then she'll turn herself to the nice gentleman next to her. I'm sorry, but I don't think we have met before.
I'm new here. Garland Cervantes. I'm Bourgeois.
She inclines her head. A pleasure to meet you. My name is Annabelle Agent from Clan Salubri.
And he just he doesn't stop really doing the coin through his fingers, but he kind of more focuses on you. He goes, really? Man. Like, he looks skeptical, but not like he doesn't believe you, more like he's never actually probably seen a Salubri before.
Annabelle kind of, draws herself up taller, as in putting her back straight and giving you a pleasant smile.
I hear your clan is quite enlightened.
Annabelle nods. Well, I would say it usually comes down to the individual, not the clan as a whole. I'm sure it's the same for your clan.
Creak as the door opens. Irene and Ulrich walk back into the room.
And Annabelle will just welcome them with a smile.
Yeah, that smile's gonna be met with a perception empathy roll.
Oh, I just want you to know I love everybody here.
I am sure you do. Let me see. I also will roll empathy at that.
5 successes, get wrecked.
Oh, she's
No
not trying to
specialty.
hide
No
anything.
specialty. This character does not have a specialty in empathy, so only 5 successes, not 6.
I only have 2, unfortunately, but
Okay. Yo. Free Eyes over there. Roll your manipulation subterfuge.
Well, she's not
Oh yeah,
really...
you're right. You don't even have a third eye yet. You're a filthy scrub.
Hey, be nice.
Woo!
Chris is trying to make
that fire.
frenzy tonight.
Brutal. Savage. Correct.
Oh, I love this. It's been so long since I played games.
Wrong one.
Oh man, yeah, we've missed you. Well, I've missed you. I can't really speak for the rest of them.
Anyway. Okay, you don't have a specialty, do
see
you?
3 successes. La, 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 la.
Ulrich looks at you with like,
It's 10 and a 9. Whoop!
yeah. Okay, so you succeed against Irene.
Yeah.
Ulrich begins giving Annabelle the side eye.
Irene would just, again, kind of make a short curtsy, and I apologize for this interruption.
Ulrich escorts you back to your seat in very gentlemanly fashion.
She'll smile.
It is, of course, no trouble. We all understand that certain matters are private eyes only. And for private ears. That one last part was out of character. But I just had to add that.
I'm certain, he says, as he just gently puts a hand on Annabelle's shoulder.
Oh boy!
We say this looks gentle. It literally feels like a boulder is on your shoulder right now.
I fucking want to roll perception empathy again because that's yeah. Fuck it, I will.
That wasn't what she was trying to hide. She was trying to hide that it was very uncomfortable with the satire across of her.
I'm not even gonna roll empathy. That enough.
I'm gonna roll empathy on Ulrich, not on.
Like that happening is just confirmation. Yep. I was right.
Motherfucking
I gotta
putting
get
his hand on Annabelle. He kind of gives him a little bit of a disgruntled look. He goes, "My lord," I was like, I guess through my ways, through how my sirs taught me, he would not find it very polite to put a hand on the lady that didn't ask for it.
I agree with him.
Oh boy!
Did she say that?
Yes.
No.
But he's saying but he has a very well.
Didn't have any etiquette, right?
No, I have etiquette 1, but
Etiquette 1.
he says, "I mean no offense, my lord."
Etiquette 3.
It's just,
The Lord has disappeared, so you may have to repeat
The
yourself.
Lord has multiplied in his rage.
Yeah.
Oh boy!
He
Oh
just
boy!
fainted.
Now,
did you hear what I said, Chris?
what did you say? Sorry.
He said he kind of gives Ulrich a slightly disgruntled look, and he says, "From how my sire has taught me, that he would find it impolite to put a hand on the lady that did not ask for it. I mean no offense, just how my sire taught me in culture."
Then I would suggest that our good lady keeps their ears to themselves.
Okay, I had 2 successes on peonying Ulrich.
It's almost like an interrogation tactic.
Mm-hmm.
He's putting he's like from everyone's perspective, it looks like he's put his hand on her in a very gentle fashion. The only one who's aware this is not the case is Annabelle, because she actually feels the weight of his strength and potence.
With 2 successes, I
almost lopsides your body
don't.
ever so slightly. But
What did you roll for, Shyla?
For not wincing or not letting anyone know that he's actually putting force behind his touch.
yeah, he's not hurting you. It's not painful. It just feels
Well,
like
no,
there's a lot of
but
pressure
still.
behind it. It's
It's just the
intimidating because it just shows you
ever-
just how strong he is.
I am pretty sure he does that because he views her as his like great-great-grandchild or something like that.
It's
'Cause I
just the
botched.
ever polite smile that's on her face. That's just making it so that there's no problems.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And Ulrich just kind of just like says, yeah, my apologies, Garland. It's not my place to engage in such vulgar activities in your presence. It's there's like just a hint of sarcasm to it.
Just the hit.
You know-
All that.
You know, if the sign was invented in this age, Gulfrun would do this.
Ulrich Cather will whisper to Annabelle. Next time, keep your ears to yourself.
So that means perception alertness, right? Yes, I'm hunting this.
Sorry, Ulrich will say, or whisper.
Yeah, we heard you. We heard you. Don't worry.
Yes.
Yeah, keep your ears. Next time, keep your ears to yourself. And will simply make his way back to his seat.
Well, Irene is blissfully unaware, which
I
I
don't-
think
I'm-
is the best.
I'm not gonna roll. This is just too good.
You don't really have to. It's kind of clear that he caught her red-handed.
Oh. Gulfrun is so happy.
Ulrich approves. He didn't think he'd approve of Setites, but you know,
Gulfrun is so happy.
Ulrich feels actually there is a moment where Ulrich seems to consider the fact that the Setite is not only the happiest man in the room, but also the person most in the right, and this is slightly depressing to him.
This is when the Setites are in the right.
And he will take a seat. So, I presume you've been discussing a plan on how to tackle the situation, how to.
So
Where
far
it's-
in this room, a small introduction has taken place. We have gotten to know each other a bit to see where our different abilities lie and how well we can tackle those stressful situation a bit better.
All eyes on Annabelle.
Sorry.
Shyla, I love you.
Oh yeah. Oh, she's just feigning complete innocence. She's just like, I have no idea what everyone is talking about. Keep smiling and keep waving.
No one believes it.
No, sorry, Lil Sombra believes it because I have failed and botched everything. I will
Oh
give
yeah,
up.
you wonder why everyone's looking at her. Everyone else knows why they're looking at her.
But Garland's not really looking at her. He's just looking at Ulrich, and at this point he just seems he's flipping his coin this whole entire time. He's just waiting. He's just
So, considering some of your abilities, I'm aware of at least 2 of you that can act with subtlety.
Chris, I love you so much. I'm sorry, continue.
Oh no! Oh no! I now really feel sorry for Chris.
Chris, I love you. Just saying that I at least know two of you can act with subtlety. It
Yeah.
killed me. My head is right now. What you see here, it's not really there. It's a mirage. It's somewhere down there on the ground. It's like ah.
Uh,
Oh boy.
there is a literal pause. There is one of you who appears to be naturally inclined towards combat, which will be an important factor, as we do intend to prevent this creature from making further breaches one way or the other. And one of you has many connections and is quite good at organizing the rest of you. And he looks towards Irene.
Oh. Okay. Sorry. She'll just smile.
Garland will look at Ulrich and it's like, who is our martial expert in this matter?
Roll me perception empathy.
He's not a martial expert, so that's why he's looking at him like that. It's not him.
Ulrich just continues staring at you. He just keeps staring at you.
And he kind of gets Ulrich
You
a kind of
forgive my question, Garland, but you hailing from the clan of, well, philosopher kings, you would be naturally adept at the art of combat, would you not? You possess great strength and great speed and such. Those natural qualities should hail from you. Is this a misassumption?
Yes, I have the abilities of my forefathers, but my personal skills do not really going around in direct combat. I am a messenger and a spy for my sire. I don't typically try to go into fights, at least not fair ones.
Ulrich just stops for a moment.
Pardon, my lord, but did you just say that you are a spy for your sire? Or did my ears conceive me?
No,
I don't know. I can't English.
We're going to talk later. The sheriff, I think, will be very interested in that statement.
I told him that. I'm a vanguard for him, and I am to represent his intent. I am to report to him about the city of Odessa.
Garland.
Representative is not the same as a spy. You're aware of this, right?
Well, that's what I've done for him several times.
You're not doing it right now.
No, I'm not, because we're honest in our intentions for Odessa. He just can't be here right now.
Then you're not a spy. You're a representative. You're a diplomat. A spy would engage in clandestine activity and not openly reveal his intent, because that goes contrary to what a spy is.
That it does.
So you're a... Never mind.
Might I suggest that we focus our attention back to the matter at hand?
Yes. I thank you, Gufran. We can't risk being sidetracked.
Right.
Right.
Now, where were we before the private conversation took place?
You have... Well, we appear to be lacking in a martial expert, although I'm sure Grin can make up the shortfall. Perhaps then it would be best if we took a more subtle approach. In fact, it may intertwine well with my clan's own unique abilities. You have two neighborhoods within the Southall slums where this creature appears to frequent. And you have one neighborhood within the Christian Quarter. I would suggest investigating those areas. And looking... Having our most ever curious friend here scout out for perhaps any undue figures. It's
She
possible
does
this creature
possess. Oh, go ahead. I'm
Is-
sorry.
It's possible the creature possesses the gift of obfuscate, in which case our triple-eyed friend here will prove most useful.
She does possess a great hearing.
He just kind of rests his hand in his cheek. Oh, do tell, haven't you just met?
Fair guess. The members of Clan Salubri are most prominent in the discipline of aspects. Therefore, her senses are quite naturally more adept than ours.
Well, my lord,
Ara looks a bit disappointed, but gives you the look that implies that you've made a good save.
however, I incline to agree with you. We just had the situation where we expected to have a martial experts, so let's not jump on conclusions due to someone's clan.
I'm not,
She
I'm
gives
not saying
gives a
they are
genuine.
Nosferatu. It's possible that this is an
I
Arcadian feeding
was-
without the permission of their sire.
He was talking about me.
Oh, sorry. Oh, I see. Sorry, I don't say that then.
I
Did
was
you just
indeed
call me
referring
crazy
to
too?
Lady.
Yeah, Ulrich, I would never do such a thing.
Anyway,
She will give
My
a
lords.
genuinely.
my lady, maybe we should have introductions at a later time and have the social gatherings at a later time, as we did come here for information and planning.
There is a revel being held by one of Gufron's clan. Perhaps you can speak more then.
We are always delighted to receive new visitors.
That might be an excellent occasion.
However, back to the matter at hand. What would be your plan in regards to interacting with this creature and tracking it down?
Gufran will look at
Anyway.
Irene, just like
I
like the stare of, do you wish to take the word or should I?
She will look back and kind of nods. The main problem we have so far, I feel, is that we have a lot of rumors and no concrete facts. So my first suggestion would be to go to the place where most attacks have happened and to the place where the most current attack has happened, because those will give us the biggest opportunity to actually find facts instead of fiction. And then she'll look back at the set height, because yeah, he made sense. So do you agree, or do you have something else planned,
I do agree.
Lord Gulkran?
As it's called, staking out the crime scene should be our first priority. We could discover something that perhaps mortal eyes have missed. We shall just have to be unseen.
This should not
A lovely amount of espionage as he looks at
Fucking hell!
Garland.
Stop that!
There's just so
Annabelle,
much salt flying from Gufran. It's just,
Yes.
And I will just respond. I'm happy to help when it comes to the Southwell slums, but I think my hands will be tied when it comes to the Christian corridors.
I believe it was just mentioned that all of our hands would be tied there. However, my Lord Ulrich, you are a hound. I am correct, right?
Indeed.
Is there a way for the sheriff's office to grant us some sort of permission to investigate and investigate only in those areas that we would normally be less than welcome?
It can be arranged.
I think that would be maybe not for the first step appropriate, but if we
in
would.
due time.
Yes, indeed. Thank you, Lord Gulfran.
There's no need to add Lord to my name.
Of course, Sir Gulfran.
Well, that will do.
Well, don't go fan your ego. I will start with contacting all my contacts, and I'll see if they have anything to note of importance and if they will keep an eye out for us.
That's good to hear.
Good to hear. God damn it!
I'm not
I
mad about
can't.
that.
I just can't. I was about to say, can you keep an ear to the ground, and then you come in. It's like, what?
What
can't
is this scene?
I came in, bitches.
I
Yes,
blame
you did.
Shyla. I blame the
blame
Salubri.
Always blame this Flubry.
You can always.
I mean,
blame
they're clearly evil soul suckers.
Yeah,
I mean,
safe approach.
Yes.
Honorable
They're like
action,
medieval
please.
Canada.
Anyway.
Follow the Setite. He's totally trustworthy, guys.
Not.
Did he crash again?
Yep.
God damn it.
I
He got
suspect.
too excited.
Welcome back, my friend.
Yes.
Did you get too excited?
Okay, so Auric kind of rests back on his chair. So I believe we have a general plan. We'll go to these two locations. We can arrange to have you investigate that specific area of the Christian Quarter. You'll ensure that no one impedes you. And then you may pay a visit to the South Wall Slums and investigate that location. You will do so largely unseen, or for those of you that can. And Miss Agent here will specialize in bearing witness to any minor details that might go missed, or would rather be as such. Garland, you will engage in security.
He nods. And I thank you for the opportunity.
Yes. Is there anything else to discuss, or any objections to the plan? Irene, of course, you and Gufran will be leading this operation.
Yes, my lord.
Whilst it may not be my place to say so, I do not agree with that. I think there should be a singular leader. Having two leaders causes too much confusion. There can be one in charge and one just below that takes decisions whilst the leader is absent.
A wise suggestion. Gufran, you'll be the second in command then. When Irene is not available to issue orders, you'll be doing so in her stead.
That's your command.
So, Gufran, since that is the
Yes?
case, I would hope for a conversation between the two of us to lay out a proper procedure.
Excellent. Are you available this night? Or do you wish to gather further information first?
I am available tonight. If this pleases you, of course.
Of course.
I feel Lord Ecleos might have competition.
Of
Set-eyes
course he
wiggling
does.
his
You're talking to a Setite. Of course he's the guy who wants to cheat on your husbando.
I am
Anyway.
not married yet. I'm not even engaged yet, and I do not know of the
I ran
plan
away
yet.
with Setite. This sounds great. Ah,
Yeah,
I
no,
ran
she's
away with
totally-
the Setite, guys. It's all great. Don't worry.
so good. No one here is annoyed with that suggestion at all. Everything is amazing. Anyway. Ulrich looks pleased at the cooperation between the two quote leaders in this mission, and will ask them, is there anything else that needs to be discussed right here, or shall we consider this?
Not really, but Annabelle is kind of reading something else in the exchange between the two of them, and she's just kind of there like a good Christian sitting there like
Good Christian girl eavesdropping on the conversation. Yeah. Doing all those naughty things.
I'm looking at you there, Shiloh. Looking at you.
Garland will look at Ulrich and says, "Sir, I do think we should have a conversation so I can better understand your expectations."
Pardon, did he say he wants to understand Ulrich's expectations?
Yes.
The sheriff and his hounds expect the assailant or assailants to be brought back alive. If there is an immediate threat to the traditions, then they may be destroyed. But that is a last resort only. We expect at least one or the only assailants to be brought back alive. They may be staked or tortured.
We
will be able to garner the information we need either way.
And I wish to discuss the earlier subject that seemed to upset you.
Don't.
I was told by 3 of my betters of this situation. If you seem upset about it, I need to understand why so I don't upset you again.
At least I'm not the
I
only
do
one.
Does anyone else have anything they wish to discuss?
I do believe that without further information, we may not be able to pry anything more, which I think our first course of action should be, as stated, to clear these locations and then see if we can come up with something else. I think that is a wonderful moment to end this meeting with your blessing, Lord Ulrich.
Well, since I believe he's frozen again, or he just shut it up, I don't know. But Irene will kind of stand Before we put
He's
this
frozen.
meeting to a close, that's awesome. If
I will
any
not be
of
stopped.
if any of you wishes to contact me, my well, I'd say my servant, she is usually at the at one of the churches, the Catholic one or the Christian one. Sorry, there's not Catholic. Blah, blah. If you wish to contact me, just toss her a message, and she'll just give a brief description of said servant, which is an older elderly lady.
Aha, there aren't too many elders around because they die off too quickly. This is the Dark Ages
Elderly,
after all.
yes, elderly in Dark Ages perspective.
Oh
Shush.
god, she's 40.
Yeah, I know, right? Shock. If any of you wish to contact me, you can do so through her. If there is something that you would wish to discuss.
I shall bear it in mind.
Then, with my blessing, I can consider this meeting adjourned. Animo and Garland, would you remain behind, please?
Of course, sir.
Gufrand will stand, place his right hand over his left chest again, bow. Well done. Be safe, everybody. And he will walk out the door.
And Irene will curtsy and will also bid her farewells and, well, leaves as well.
So does Annabelle. She will also curtsy and she will nod her
Nope, you've
head.
been told to stay.
She's
Oh, I
running
thought
away.
She's running away! Bye, guys!
Obfuscate! No, never mind. She will just
Hey, you don't have that.
she'll just stay seated as she will watch the others leave.
So, one of you sidetracked us, derailed the meeting, insulted me, and brought up an extremely dangerous subject that they have no right intruding upon. And the other one eavesdropped on a private conversation with one of my own clanmates. Which one of you would like to explain first?
And Garland will score up to Ulrich. I was told by the Primogen, the sheriff, and Lady Madeline about the woman, and I was told to investigate her, as she was one of the problems in the city. I did what I was told to do.
Who told you to?
I was even told to find you, Ulrich, to gather more information about her, but I was
Who told you
stated.
to investigate her?
Yes,
Who?
said the sheriff, my Primogen, and Lady Madeline told me to find you to gather more information about this woman.
Let me make this very clear. You do not bring up that woman in casual, public conversation. You do not want to find her, because if you do, she will eat you. You do not insult me and derail this meeting. If that happens again, there will be consequences. I'll have Madeline, and then he'll just kind of whisper, I'll have Madeline contact you at a later date. Never discuss her in front of my face in public again. And then he'll, actually, no, he won't say that to you because Annabelle's in the room and she'll eavesdrop like she did before. So he'd actually take precaution not to do that and just says, Madeleine and I shall meet with you at a later date. The sheriff will be informed of this breach in etiquette. You may be dismissed.
And Garland will stop flipping the coin in the middle between his middle and his ring finger and put it in his palm and put it into his pocket. I see that my superiors, it seems that our superiors may be misinforming us. I'll make sure to
Shut
gain
up.
clarification.
Shut up. Get out.
And he gets back from the wall and he bows to Ulrich. And he'll leave through the room.
Yeah, you hurry out. Annabelle, how do you feel right now?
Is this something he asks me, or is this just you as an ST asking me how does she feel?
This is me asking you as an ST. How is Annabelle feeling right now?
Ooh. Well, she's kind of sweating it.
As Aura begins to approach you, you realize the floor is creaking. It was not creaking before.
Annabelle will just lower her gaze to the floor.
I do not
Approaches.
recall Abraham instructing his childer to eavesdrop upon others.
No, sir.
You realize that of all people, a follower of Set comes out of this looking like the protagonist, and the Salubri is the villain. I wonder how your Primogen would feel about that. You know your Primogen would fucking kill you if you heard about this.
You can see her cringe.
Why did you eavesdrop on us? I think the Primogen got her, guys.
Welcome back to your doom, Shyla.
First scene, first death. It's gonna be great. He's asked you why did you eavesdrop on them?
I just dropped back in. Could you brief last thing that you said?
He's asking why you eavesdropped in the first place.
She kind of, not per se looks guilty, but when I was embraced, I was fortunate enough to inherit not only the ability to hear and see better than normal humans, but also to hear and see better than other kindred. Unfortunately, my sire was not graced with the same gifts, so I needed to learn on my own how to control them. And okay, Knight, I'm sorry. And I have been struggling with it for some time.
Is your character stating that the reason they eavesdropped between Irene and Ulrich is because they, quote, lost control effectively? Is that the narrative? Or are you just giving kind of...
Well, not lost control of her beast, but...
No, lost control of your power. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Roll me manipulation subterfuge.
Coming up, 5.
Because that is a lie.
Oh, it is. It's a blatant lie. That's not what I want. Ah, why are you? Oh, okay, never mind.
Also, because you've already been caught, increase the difficulty by 1.
So 7?
It's 7 difficulty because you've already been caught. And you've been keeping up a brave face this whole time about how you're totally not guilty.
Am I allowed to spend another will point for this?
You are allowed to spend a willpower point on this roll. That will put you down, though. You will need to activate your niche to get your full willpower back by the end of this week, because you'll have used 2 willpower points a scene.
That's fine, because I want to keep my head. And roll. 2
3
successes plus
3
1.
successes.
3.
Only 2.
Save the Lord!
So,
Hey! Don't say damn it!
so what you're telling me is that you've been released from your sire for some time, I believe. Have you not?
Oh, see, if he's still my mentor, does that count as released?
No, your character has been around for over a decade at this point. I mean, in the Dark Ages, they do leash for a longer period of time, but you are a neonate. You're not a fledgling. Irene is a month old. She's a fledgling. But you've been around for how many years? I know, I'm just not saying it in scene because I don't want to ruin it. You've been around a while. You have a mentor, but you're a neonate. You are released from him as per the traditions. You are responsible for your own actions. You are not safe under the traditions of the accounting. He released you with such little control over your own powers? I know Abraham. We've met before.
These were challenging circumstances.
Really? In a set of empty rooms? I must say I'm disappointed in him. I thought he would have taught you better. This reflects poorly on him and your kind. He's waiting for you to respond. He's slowly losing patience.
She will respond. I think you are aware what Jesus. Satites and Salubri aren't friendly under the best circumstances, and
Do I look like I was embraced yesterday?
does he really say that?
Yes.
No, sir. I'm merely stating that due to what is Max's character again?
Gufran.
Yeah, blame the Sethite, yes. Due to Oberon's behavior, Max, quit. Due to Oberon's behavior, it made it increasingly difficult for me to keep composed.
Part of me feels inclined to ask for another subterfuge check here, but
He was being a dick.
No, it's not that you're lying. It's that you've connected
It's
your
not a
statement
lie.
to another statement that doesn't make sense.
It's not a lie. Technically,
What?
it's misdirection.
Yeah, what Annabelle is stating, well, what Annabelle is implying is that Gufran's poor behavior set off her super hearing.
Yes.
I'm just making you aware that that logically doesn't make any sense.
Well, if your, what is it, flight and survival instincts kick in.
That's the beast. He could provoke you into frenzy. Provoking your super hearing into going off doesn't make sense because it's not. It doesn't work as a.
Oh, I
has no
didn't say he was
purpose. It's not
making
a defense
sound.
mechanism.
I was just saying that he was behaving in such a manner that doesn't specifically mean sound. It could also be what he is saying to me.
No. What are you? No, what I was saying is that Annabelle seems to be implying is that Gufran's provocation is what caused Annabelle to use her enhanced hearing, or to lose control of it.
Yeah, I would say the last one then.
Because I can't ask you for a subterfuge check there because that statement doesn't make a lot of sense. I'm just giving you the heads up. As per free common sense merit that everyone gets.
We do?
Yeah, everyone gets common sense for free. Ulrich will simply state. So Gufran provoked you, and instead of that setting off your beast, it set off your ears. Your enhanced scientific. Then.
I was fortunate enough to barely keep my beast under control, but
Maybe another subterfuge check.
well, I was fortunate enough to keep my beast. Oh no, it wasn't.
Oh yeah,
a
no, you had to
friendly
roll
was
for
it?
that. Yeah, you did have to roll for that. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
You were provoked. This is true. You don't have to roll for that. Please continue. Google Hangouts hates us.
Oh no, I'm still here. But yes, it hates.
No, please continue with your statement, sorry.
I was able to suppress my beast, but unfortunately, other side effects kicked in. I tried to what is the word? Shut it out and focus on other things, which is why I was engaging myself in a conversation with, what is it? The Bruhan next to me, his name. What is
Garland.
the Darker? Garland? With Garland.
Garland is the Brujan, yeah.
To make sure that I, well, just out of politeness.
You could have engaged in other conversation. You could have attempted to not hear us, even with your enhanced hearing. You could have informed us so that we would have known our privacy was at risk, yet you did none of those things. In addition to only one of your senses activating in response to provocation. Which I've never heard of in my life before, only for few month-old fledglings.
Oh, so he doesn't know that I have acute sight, does he?
He doesn't know you have acute senses, no. He does know you have Auspex. That's what he's interrogating you on.
Oh.
The only reason the difficulty to that roll wasn't through is because you were behind 3 walls. But you have acute hearing and heightened senses. You can hear through 3 walls fairly easily even then.
So he basically thinks that I use my Auspex to eavesdrop on them.
Yes. But you did.
Normally, if I would have had only my Auspex on, how likely would it have been that I was able to hear it? If I didn't have the acute hearing.
So you could have still heard it with heightened senses. You needed heightened senses on to be able to hear the conversation. Acute hearing is still only natural hearing. Heightened senses takes it to a supernatural level. But because you have acute hearing, you were able to have a better and easier time listening in on a conversation. But you needed that supernatural hearing to be able to hear the actual conversation of Auric and Irene.
Okay.
You still rolled at a low difficulty because of heightened hearing. Acute hearing. But yes. He's interrogating you on your use of Auspex. He doesn't know you have acute hearing and... Well, yeah, he doesn't know. He does know you have Auspex, and he thinks you used it. And you have confirmed to him that you did. Not necessarily intentionally, but you have. And that's where you're at right now.
What was the last thing he said to me?
He said to you, he basically went over what you could have done to keep Irene and Auric's privacy intact, and yet you did none of those things.
Well, he also said that I could have engaged in a conversation with someone, which I did.
Pardon?
He also said you could have gotten into a conversation.
Yeah, you could have gotten into other deep conversation. That is funny enough where you lost track of Ulrich's conversation because Gufran engaged you.
Well, no,
And
I
he is
engaged
very
Gufran.
loud. Oh no, I don't believe that's true.
Nope. I asked how you were doing, girl.
Yeah,
yeah,
Gufran
but
engaged
at some
you and was
point-
tapping the table.
Oh no, I don't. Wait, I mean the other one.
You screw
Right,
last.
so here's how it happened, right? You start
Well, I know how
listening.
it happened.
Gufran asked how you were doing, caught some of your bullshit, and then started tapping the table.
Because you were drifting off,
Which
kind of leaning
after I-
towards the wall a little bit.
Yeah, I know, but which after I eventually, well, took off my hearing, disengaged my hearing, and then I started to talk to.
Yep, after I've engaged you in the talk.
Yeah, because he was super loud.
No twisting your facts.
Well,
Twisting.
okay,
to your
I'm gonna
face.
write down the name. Wolfron. What was Daniel's? No,
Garland,
Charles
the bruiser.
Garland.
Garland, Garland.
Okay. I did engage in conversation with Garland on purpose, of course.
What did she say?
That she did engage in conversation with Garland.
To start the future, because that's honest, but that's a very misleading statement.
What was
Do you
it?
want to spend the willpower again?
Well, do you say which subterfuge you said?
Manipulation subterfuge.
I get 0 successes, so you're fine, but you still need to roll. Because if you botch, then I succeed.
Okay, wait. Come on, be a good keyboard. 10, difficulty 6.
Difficulty is still 7.
Correct. Oh, shite. Then you need to count by hand. If that's the
You
case,
get 1 success. I'm aware that conversations took place. I'm also aware you're trying to push this off on the other Canaanites in the room. I would have thought you would have learned very quickly I don't take a liking to those who avoid responsibility for their actions. Or do I need to inform you like a 5-year-old child what my statement towards Garland meant when I told him to get out when he started blaming the elders for his mistakes?
she shakes her head. No, sir. I will. I don't.
You don't get along with the Setites. That is fine. Not a lot of people get on with them. But you have been volunteered or have volunteered for this assignment, and that means I expect you to stay in line. It
Yes,
is not
sir.
an excuse to go eavesdropping on completely separate individuals of my clan.
She would just keep standing there.
From what I'm aware, your sire is trying very, very hard for Salubri in a positive light, which they're not in, and have not been for over 2 decades. Worse still, you have not been honest with me throughout the majority of this evening. I know quite a fair amount about your clan. Tell me what your clan represent. What do they do? What do they bring to canine society? Why are they one of the high clans?
Really roll for that.
He's not asking you for actual knowledge on Clan Salubri. He's asking you to describe why your clan, what your clan bring, like talk up your clan basically. Are they supposedly the good guys? Why are they the protagonists of their supposed story?
He's basically asking you to brag about Clan Salubri.
Yeah, in a way that's convincing and factual.
Oh, Lord. Well, first of all, she will look a bit surprised at this request.
Poor child.
Oh, see, so he asks what we bring to this society?
Yes. Why Clan Salubri great? What do they do? Why should they even be here? Is the point, is the message he's sending to you.
Oh.
Do you
here we
want to
go.
make a charisma salubri law check?
Charisma Salubri Lord?
It will be a salubri law check, yeah, because you'll have to talk about what the salubri actually do.
Oh, so not what
Because
our
Auric knows what
philosophy
your
is,
clan
but
is
what
and
we
what. But
actually
yeah,
do.
Auric has enough knowledge of Clan Salubri to know if you're bullshitting about them. So, yeah, make a charisma salubri law check because it's basically based on what you know about the clan and their accomplishments and what the general positive stereotypes of Clan Salubri are.
Well, 0.
You failed.
Well, at least not a botch.
Okay, so you say a lot of the standard spiel.
I'm getting sent back
Is
to my
not-
mentor.
It is not very convincing. In some places, it's questionable whether you're even correct. You don't botch, so you're not inherently wrong at everything. But you're kind of, oh, this is what we do, and this is what we do, and this is what we're great at, and this is why we are one of the high clans, and why the Trimmer are evil, blah, blah, blah. Is completely unconvincing, or non sequitur, or in at least one case, just not factual. It's not necessarily a lie, it's just, did this really happen? Or is this a very biased retelling of a story that all of us know? Sort of thing. You are the clan that so often proclaims itself to be just, that is able to heal where no other clan is able to, and purge infection where not even the Crusaders among the Ventru or my own clan try. So much so that your clan split into 2 philosophies based on how to do right within the world. Not necessarily based on rulership or greatness, but on the notion of being ethically correct, of trying to find a better path forward. This is why you can heal. Because you looked for a better way. And with that comes the standard of acting ethically. You're a healer, aren't you?
Yes, my lord.
your clan is renowned for its adherence to humanitas. Do you think eavesdropping on me and then lying about it through this entire meeting, then trying to throw someone else under the bus isn't any way ethical? It's certainly not responsible. Those on the Road of Kings would have held you to account already, long before I have. They don't respect your responsibility, much less liars. And right now you are both.
Do I need to roll manipulation subterfuge for that?
No. Do roll perception empathy to figure out what he's trying to get at. Oh yeah, under the bus. Yeah, sorry. Under the carpet.
Under the carriage, under
Sorry,
the wheel.
Under the
And
car.
you know what I sell? I sell carpets.
Yeah. No,
Eh,
he said he literally but the statement is basically you try to hold someone else responsible for your own actions. You had really nothing to do with
3
it.
successes. 3 tens. What?
Okay, so he's pissed off that you keep saying that either you lost control or you're blaming the Setite. He's pissed off that you're not saying, I did a bad, I'm sorry, it won't happen again. He really just wants you to say that. But you keep not saying that and keep trying to say other people should be saying that and not me. And he's pissed off that someone of the Salubri is saying that. He's also disappointed. With 3 successes, you can tell he's very disappointed. You can tell he was expecting more from you.
Sure.
And you can garner that from how he talked about your sire.
Yeah, kind of figured.
You're also aware that this reflects poorly on him as well as you.
Oh yeah. She will bow her head and she'll say, I'll make sure it doesn't happen again. And I will adjust my attitude towards the Setite accordingly.
Pardon, what did you just say? Please repeat that verbatim, sorry.
She says, I'll make sure it doesn't happen again and that I'll adjust my attitude towards the Setite accordingly.
Where are we perception empathy again? Don't mention the Setite.
Whoops. Well,
Stop blaming the Setite.
No, she is saying I'll play nice with him.
That is still implying he is somehow to blame. I'll adjust my attitude for him, as if like he's the one with a bad attitude. Is what Ulrich's annoyed about right now. And he was very polite to Ulrich. Maybe not to you, but you're aware that Ulrich didn't see any of what he did to you. And right now, you're the person that looks like the person with a bad attitude. He'll lean back and he'll just wait for you to say it again. Or amend your statement.
She'll just repeat the first part. I'll make sure it doesn't happen again.
Good. And he literally, actually, unusually, breathes out a sigh of exasperation. Would you like to know why that conversation wasn't yours to hear, other than the privacy factor?
She kind of gives you a look as in, this is a trick question, isn't it?
You say yes, my lord, or no, my lord.
Yes, my lord.
It was because it would get you killed. Information is not withheld for trivial reasons. I withhold it because it's in the best interests of those present and for this city. You could not possibly begin to understand the threat I am chasing here. And that if you were anyway even remotely curious, your life would meet a very premature end, and that is something I would prefer to avoid. I am on good terms with your sire, and he does right by this city, which is more than I can say for some among your clan who also announced themselves to be so morally superior. And you are a fellow member of my own road, if Abraham taught you any way correctly. So I shall not hold you to account further. But do not do this again. Do not insult me or my clan. And do not insult your sire with these actions. You are not a child. You are not a fledgling. You're a neonate. You are responsible.
Yes, my lord. It won't happen again. Thank you for your leniency.
A night from now, I would like to discuss matters with you again. Not regarding this, but separately. Separate matters.
Yes, my lord.
I will arrange for you to be escorted home to your sire. Do I have to tell him about this?
You
You can say yes if you want,
I don't
OC.
No, please don't. He'll be very disappointed in me.
He would be. Take that as a lesson. If you'll be but a moment, I'll arrange for your escort home.
Thank you, sir.
You can roll me perception empathy one more time.
Coming up. Hey, or are the people of the escort hotties? Yeah, of course.
One of them is like a man in his 50s who's balding.
Oh yeah.
He's very rugged.
Mm.
Gnarly looking scar. No, this guy actually seems a bit more. He doesn't seem as actually. This old guy doesn't seem as different to you as the other ghouls.
Yeah. I
He doesn't
think
seem
there
different to you
might be
at all.
something wrong with dice roller because I'm looking at my score, and if 6 is the difficulty, I have a 6, a 10, a 6, a 7, and a 10, which would make 5 successes, but it only
That's
counts
because you
3.
didn't put the equal sign. You put as 7d10 more than 6f1.
Okay,
So
well,
it has to
5
be
successes.
more than 6 instead of equal more than, which would be it has to be equal to or more than 6. So you have a lot of successes there. Do you have a specialty?
I have perception at 4 dots.
You don't have empathy at 4 dots. Okay, that's fine. Okay, you only get the successes I count here, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You have a Q side, don't you?
I do.
Okay, then you
See?
get 7 successes. Yeah. He seems far more disappointed than angry at you, and that seems to sadden him greatly. He is, however, being extremely polite in allowing you an escort home. You'd know that if any other guy, even remotely less, like, he doesn't need to give you an escort at all. He could literally throw you out on the street like he did Garland. He's not doing that. And he's... Yeah, it's a swirling of disappointment, irritance, and sadness more so than anger. The anger appears much more muted at this stage as he escorts you out very politely, very chivalrously, to the wagon upon which you'd be escorted onto, and then you would be ridden home. And I think because everyone has now departed and gone their separate ways, we can end the scene there with my still face looking down miserably into the abyss. I blame Shyla. Thank you, players, for playing. Thank you, watchers. We'll see you next time.